Our story begins not with a song, but with a drop of blood. On a bitter, silent winter afternoon, a beautiful queen sat by a window framed in dark ebony wood. As she watched the snow blanket the earth, her needle slipped. 3 drops of crimson blood fell upon the pure white snow. A wish was whispered into the freezing air. A child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. The heavens answered. A baby girl was born, perfect and pure. They named her Snow White. But magic always demands a price. With her daughter's first breath, the good queen drew her last. Meselian pause. A year passed like a fleeting shadow. The king, lonely and broken, remarried. The new queen was a woman of breathtaking majesty, but her heart was cold, consumed by a singular, dangerous obsession: vanity. She possessed a mirror forged of ancient magic. Every morning, she demanded validation. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? You, my queen, are fair, it's true, but Snow White has grown, and she is 1,000 times fairer than you. Snow White was now 7 years old, blooming like a rose amidst the frost. In that single moment, the queen's love turned to a venomous, consuming hatred. Summoning her most loyal huntsman, the queen gave a command that would haunt the woods forever. Take her deep into the black forest, kill her, and bring me her lungs and liver as proof of her demise. But deep in the woods, looking into Snow White's weeping eyes, the huntsman's blade trembled. Run, child, run, and never look back, the huntsman cried. To deceive his ruthless queen, he slaughtered a young wild boar, presenting its organs as Snow White's. That evening, the queen dined on what she believed was her stepdaughter's flesh, her heart swelling with grim satisfaction. Meanwhile, Snow White fled through the wilderness. The forest seemed alive with terror. Sharp branches tore at her dress, and the shadows morphed into ghoulish faces. She ran until her feet bled, driven only by the primal instinct to survive. As the sun dipped below the horizon, she stumbled upon a tiny cottage nestled in a quiet clearing. Inside, everything was small, neat, and arranged for 7. Starving, she took a single bite from each of the 7 little plates and collapsed across the final small bed, falling into a deep, exhausted slumber. Night fell, and the masters of the house returned. 7 dwarfs who mined the gold veins deep within the mountains. Lighting their 7 candles, they looked at their home in wonder. Someone has been sitting in my chair. Someone has eaten from my plate. And then the 7th candle illuminated the sleeping princess. By morning, a pact was forged. Snow White would keep their hearth warm, and they would protect her from the world. But back at the castle, the peace was shattered. The queen stepped to her mirror, expecting praise, only to hear the words that made her blood run cold. Snow White, over the hills with the 7 dwarfs, is still 1,000 times fairer than you. Disguising herself as an old peddler, the queen crossed the mountains. She knocked on the cottage door, offering beautiful silken stay laces. Bound by innocence, Snow White opened the door. Let me lace you up properly, child, the old woman purred. She pulled the laces so tight that Snow White's breath stopped, and she collapsed, lifeless. The dwarves returned just in time, cutting the laces and reviving the gasping princess. But the queen's malice knew no bounds. Using dark witchcraft, she crafted a poisoned comb and returned in a new disguise. Tempted by beauty, Snow White let the old woman comb her hair. The moment the teeth touched her scalp, the venom took hold, and she fell once more. Saved a second time by the dwarfs, Snow White swore she would never open the door again. But the queen had one final, foolproof deception. She crafted an apple so beautiful yet so deadly, poisoned only on its rosy red half. Dressed as a humble peasant, she offered a bite. To prove it safe, the witch ate the white side. Snow White took a bite of the red. This time, the dwarfs could not wake her. No pulse, no breath, yet she did not look dead. Her cheeks remained rosy, her skin like pure porcelain. Unable to bury her in the cold earth, they crafted a coffin of transparent glass, inscribing her name in gold, and kept watch over her for years. Years passed until a young prince riding through the forest stumbled upon the mountain. Mesmerized by the sleeping beauty, he pleaded with the dwarfs to let him transport the coffin to his castle, promising to honor her forever. Reluctantly, they agreed, but as his servants carried her down the rocky path, one stumbled upon a thick root. The sudden jolt dislodged the piece of poisoned apple from Snow White's throat. With a gasp, she awoke. The prince, overjoyed, asked for her hand in marriage. A grand royal wedding was announced, and among the invited guests was the evil queen herself. But a terrifying surprise awaited the tyrant. For her crimes against the innocent, she was forced into a pair of iron shoes, heated over burning coals. The queen danced in her agonizing punishment until she dropped dead to the floor, her vanity finally destroyed. And Snow White, alongside her prince and her loyal dwarf friends, ruled the kingdom with a kindness that outshone the sun. They lived happily ever after,